Alright guys, I know I haven't been uploading a whole lot recently. I've just been pretty busy and tired from work and all that good stuff. As you can see, it's night. Well, it's actually only 6:30 right now. But I'm on night shifts, so some of my vlogs are going to be in the dark or in the parkade at the hotel that I'm staying at where I'm at work, because I'm no longer taking my trailer with me. I'm just too close to home, and honestly I'm really sick of pulling the trailer this year, so I'm taking a break from it for a few weeks. And I guess I should probably turn off my light bar when I get to the highway. But yeah, it's 6:30 right now. I just woke up. I got off work this morning around, got back at the hotel around 9 o'clock in the morning. So I just got up not long ago. I slept basically from when I got to the hotel to now. Just took a quick shower and I went down to the restaurant here in Invermere to grab a bite to eat. And this video is going to be the 5 things that I hate about my 2016 Ford F-250 PowerStroke diesel. So, I'm gonna go for breakfast and I'll see you soon. Now, the 5 things that I hate about my PowerStroke. I wrote them down because they're hard to remember, because honestly, I don't really hate this truck. But the 5 things that I don't like about it. Now, this is the first thing that I really don't like about my truck. As you all know, it's a 2016 F-250 6.7 liter PowerStroke that has got a lot of modifications so far and a lot more to come. Now, one of those modifications that will be coming to this truck is going to be suspension. I want to put on Bilstein 5100 series shocks on this truck because the stock FX4 Rancho shocks suck. I was going to switch them out in the first 10-20,000 kilometers. Well, now I've got a good 80-85,000 on this truck with a stock suspension, and I'm not loving it. One thing you will notice about this truck is it has a solid front axle, unlike the GM's independent front suspension. Both Ford and Dodge have the solid front axle, and that makes for an extremely rough ride. Like, it's not so rough that you can't enjoy driving it. I mean, when I've got my trailer hooked up and I'm hauling down a highway, it's smooth. But as soon as I take this truck off-road, it's pretty rough. It gets even more rough for the passengers in the truck too. So that's one thing I don't like about this truck. I know it's a 3/4 ton truck, it's a diesel, it's going to be rough, it's not going to ride like a Cadillac, and I don't expect it to. But it isn't, the ride quality off-road isn't as high as it could be. So I am going to be looking to increase the quality as best I can somewhere along down the road here, hopefully soon. But a 1-ton truck, 3/4 ton truck, they're going to be rough. And that's just one of the things that I dislike about it. But it's not a selling point for me. Like, it's a truck. It does what a truck has to do, and I'm happy with it. It just rides a little rough. It's like a tank. It's like a brick going down the highway. Another thing that I don't really like about my truck is, although it's the XLT, it is the loaded XLT package. The only thing I don't have is touchscreen, which I'm not too fond of. I don't like factory touchscreens. I might add an aftermarket something or other for my deck here in the next little while, but that's not 100%. I'm not 100% on that yet. So the only thing I don't have is the touchscreen, which, like I said, I don't like factory touchscreens. I have the I've got all the buttons. The other thing I don't have is the productivity center in my dash here. It's just standard work truck dash. It's nicer than the XL trucks, but not as nice as the Lariats. I can get the Lariat dash to swap in here, which I might do. I plan on doing that eventually. Like I said, every mod I do, there's no set time on when I'm going to do them. It's just everything I'm going to do on my own accord, just when I feel like doing it. I would like to do that sooner rather than later, but right now it's not really a priority. I've got other things I'd like to get done first for engine performance wise anyways, and one more thing I'd like to do is a CCV reroute. And I don't have leather seats, and I don't have a sunroof. I don't like sunroofs, and I didn't like the leather seats in my Dodge, so I thought all vehicle leather seats are the same until I rode in my buddy's King Ranch, and it was wonderful. I definitely want to put King Ranch interior seats in this truck within due time as well. I really should have bought a King Ranch to begin with. I should have test drove one, but I didn't, because I just thought, nope, no leather. I want fully loaded, no leather, no touchscreen, no sunroof. That's what I said, and that's exactly what I got. But what I didn't realize is I wouldn't have upfitter switches. Not sure if you can actually see there. There's my radio. But right here, I've got the coin slot rather than upfitter switches, and I would much rather have upfitter switches in there. It would make a lot nicer for my light bar and my flush mounts, my light bar in the front and my flush mounts in the back, and eventually when I do train horns and high idle, things like that, I would like to have the upfitters present when I do that, so they can all be on a nice little clean switch area that looks factory, which I will be buying the OEM parts. All you need is the switches and a wiring harness that literally just clips into the truck, and you plug a couple wires in, because everything else is in the truck already. So for now, I have these switches here, which will be coming out when I do the productivity screen, when I have the upfitter switches in. So see, every little mod that I do, something has to be done first before I can do that. Like, I want to do the high flow intake piping kit to get the plastic intake out and get the high flow aftermarket absolute performance kit in. But before I do that, I have to do my CCV reroute. So next to go under the hood will be my CCV reroute, and then from there I can do my absolute performance high flow intake, my intercooler piping, and then I can do custom turbo, things like that. But it all starts somewhere. You gotta do other mods first before you can do bigger mods, cooler mods. So everything leads up to one another. So this is going to be an extremely cool build. It's just everything takes time and money, and I gotta work. So it's really difficult to find the time to get everything done, even though I am trying pretty hard to get everything done and get all my mods done. So yeah, I don't have the upfitters, which is annoying, but they're cheap, so I will be getting those within due time. Next thing I don't like about this truck is something happened a while back. This is before I was making YouTube videos. It's when I first got aftermarket rims, and I was at my house and I jacked up my truck, and I forgot to put the jack stands on. I forgot to put the jack stands underneath prior to jacking it. So I ran and grabbed my jack stands as it was jacked up. I should have dropped it down, but I'd already pulled my wheel off and everything. It was a whole thing. And essentially I was just cutting corners, which you really shouldn't be doing anywhere in life. It just never gets you farther ahead. And I ran inside and grabbed my jack stand, and as I was putting my jack stand underneath my truck, the jack broke and it fell. And yes, it was the 3-ton or 3.5-ton jack that I had, and it broke on me. It completely collapsed, and the passenger front side of my truck fell to the ground. And ever since then, I've got a squeal. But yeah, ever since then I've had a squeal. I'm not sure if it was that's done it, or when I put on the aftermarket rims. I don't remember it squealing right after that happened, but I took it down to Ford. They checked everything out, everything was fine, it's all hunky-dory, whatever, no problem. Then about a month after that, I got new tires put on those rims. I drove it around for about 8,000 kilometers. I got it rotated, and after that, I've had a slight squeal. If I'm driving straight, it squeals. If I'm taking a slight left-hand or right-hand turn, it's going to squeal, but as soon as I tap my brakes, it goes away and comes right back. I've had it in the shop numerous times and they can't figure it out. So that little squeal, it does get annoying. It doesn't happen all the time, it's not consistent. When it's wet, it squeals. Sometimes when it's dry, it squeals too. And it just happens randomly. There's no set circumstances that causes it to squeal, and I've been chasing this problem for a while, and I've yet to find it. And it drives me nuts when I'm driving with my windows open, and I just hear that steady squeal on my brakes. I can hear it in the brakes, but I can't figure out what it is. And they've been pulled apart and rebuilt and rebuilt and rebuilt, and nothing stops the squeal. And it's not wheel bearings, nothing like that. But maybe it's just the way it is now. Maybe when I get new brakes it'll fix it, I don't know. But the squeal annoys the ever-living shit out of me. The one thing I hate about this truck, and diesels in general, is the warm-up times. It really does suck warming up your truck, getting it to operating temperature, getting your coffee, going home, and just to shut it down. Honestly, it's a lot of effort just to grab a fucking coffee. I know I could just make my own coffee, but it's just an example. So yeah, those are the 5 things I hate about my 6.7 liter PowerStroke. Like I said, I don't really hate this truck. There's nothing I actually hate about this truck. It's just things that bother me, or things that get on my nerves a little bit, pet peeves if you will. I really do love this truck, and I wouldn't trade it for a Cummins or a Duramax, especially seeing as the new L5P Duramax is yet to be able to be tuned, but apparently they're breaking through with that, hopefully. But regardless, I wouldn't be trading this truck for a Cummins or a Duramax. I may get a Cummins or a Duramax alongside this truck, but I wouldn't get rid of it for one of them. It's just been too good of a truck. These 6.7 PowerStrokes, I'm sure, are giving Ford their credibility back in their heavy-duty diesel market. Comment, like, subscribe. Follow me on my other social medias at ThrottleOut250 for Instagram and Facebook. There you can find my Snapchat. I am active on all of those. And remember, when in doubt, throttle out.